Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this webinar where you were part with me of a little bit of how to get your ideal clients. Now we open up the session to Q&As. I really hope that you have questions for me and that I can go over any doubts that you might have about what we just covered right now. And more than anything, I really hope that you can join us on the webinars, or I'm sorry, on the educational, so that you can see firsthand what it means to be part of something with me. So let me know how I can be of help. Just know that if you decide to do business with us, we quote all of our prices in US dollars, and we pay 12% commission on everything that we quote with See Italy Travel. So I don't know. There are no questions so far.
First question, do all educationals happen in October?
Usually when we do the educational attached with the trade show, it happens in October. It is around the first week of October. It is usually for a week. The trade show is in Rimini, which is a little town on the Adriatic coast, which is the east coast of Italy. And it is about an hour south of Bologna. And then the educational and the regions kind of change every year depending on what Italian regions really want to promote. We do, by the way, as a See Italy only educational, one in March every year. This year we had it in Piemonte. We had about 8 people. Then the year before we did it in Umbria for our top agents and so on. So we're going to add more, but so far it's end of March and October.
We have a question from Usha Rao. What is See Italy's role if you're wanting us to decide on local suppliers?
Well, the mission of See Italy is always to bring you the most authentic Italy to you. Unless you want to become a tour operator like us, we are not afraid that you will go directly with every single itinerary or FITs. There is a lot of work for you to puzzle it together. Obviously, if you want to use a particular guide, you can use that guide, or if you want to do just one transfer, you could do that. Either way, it's not the mission of See Italy because, like I mentioned on the webinar, we have 60 steps. And if you were calling me and say, I want to book a transfer or I want to book a 3-hour guide, we would say, more than likely we cannot help you. So if you really want to get your contacts in Italy during the trade show, go ahead. Another good example for me is, let's say I take you to a Chinese supermarket and I can give you, an example, or I can explain to you all the ingredients. You can either choose to cook the meal yourself, or you can go back to a restaurant and have a home cooked meal. So we are the home cooked meal.
Okay, question from Sheila. How do you implement your 60-step process?
Well, it took us about a year, and what we did is we have it on a software where basically when a client calls us, we automatically send you a questionnaire, and then you either forward to the client or you fill it out yourself. And then when we receive it, we give you a quote that's also automated. Then after we give you a quote, we modify the itinerary, then we take deposits, so on and so forth, up until the time your clients come back. As in exactly how it works, well, that is more a technical part, but just so that you know, we have a system where we know exactly if we've asked you at what time your clients want to do the transfers, if we have the incoming and departing flight information, and so on and so forth, so that everything is written out. And if somebody calls and let's say that particular agent is not there, somebody else can answer.
Jennifer would like to know how to be invited to the trade show in the spring or educational in the spring. She would be able to, she's committed, I guess, for the dates.
Okay. No problem. And by the way, if you cannot make it this year for the October educational, just mark your calendar and know that it's going to happen next year around the same dates. And we will definitely do a better job next year to promote it earlier. But as for March, we don't have the dates yet. We were thinking about either the region of Marche, M-A-R-C-H-E, or the region of Sicily again. The educationals in March, do not have a trade show attached. A lot of times you can invite spouses, but because it's such a small number, if we are sold out, then the spouses cannot come, like it happened this year with Piemonte. The cost for the March educational is more expensive because we don't have any support from the local regions. So all the cost goes on See Italy, where the one in October is a lot less expensive. And by the way, it's only $850 per agent.
Meritus Renasa asks, she wants to know the cost of the one in October as well as whether that cost also includes the trade show.
Yes, the one in October is $850 per agent. You can take a significant other. They won't be admitted during the trade show, but they can wander around the region. The trade show is October 8th and 9th, and then the educational is the 10th through the 15th. So you need to arrive in Bologna on the 7th. And what was the question about the trade show? I forgot.
Is the trade show included in the cost?
Yes, I'm sorry. It is included. Yeah, and it's very, very, but the reason why we bring you mainly to the educational, first of all, we're not afraid to lose business because maybe that's the business that we cannot help you with. But we really want you to be confident that when you speak to your clients, you know what to offer besides what everybody else does out there. And that's how you will be come out of the ordinary and be different and be unique.
Yeah. Michelle would like to participate next year and would like to know if you will do the trade show and the educational next year together as well.
Yes, we will. The one in October is always this way. We really believe in educating our travel agents, and we have partnered with this travel trade show in Italy that has asked us, and this is, by the way, the second year, has asked us to send them as many agents as we can and educate them. So yes.
Debbie is wondering what the cost is for a companion, and can you do a pre and post stay?
Yes, we can do a pre and post with anything that we do, educationals, or if you want to do your own educational and we do not offer it, we would be able to give you agent rates for wherever you want to go. The companion's rate is actually double the agent rate, but if you have issues with that, and I hope you just don't bring them up, let me know. Because we have done a special rate for some agents that were bringing their spouses, and so we might be able to do something with you for you as well.
Can you highlight just a little bit of what Alice will be doing in Liguria and what you'll be doing in Sicily?
Right. We are going to send you itineraries for both of the tours. The one in Liguria basically goes from west to east. So it starts like in areas like Sanremo, which is closer to the French Riviera. Then it will move to Finale Ligure and then eventually to the Cinque Terre. So it's more in depth, the region of Liguria, than what you would do if, let's say, your clients just asks you for the Cinque Terre. But at least it's education. As an example, we had some people last year calling us and wanting to do a ancestry trip. and they went in the west of Liguria. So it was very nice for us, obviously, to be able to talk about that area as well. So Alicia will be there. She is wonderful. She's our support main agent in Italy. I started with her. She believed in my vision, and I love her. And I will be in the Sicily itinerary. So Sicily, we will be starting in Palermo. And by the way, the transfers internally after the trade show and to the educational are included. Even the flight from, let's say, Rimini to Palermo is included for those people that choose to go to Sicily. We will be concentrating a little bit in Palermo. We will be having a lunch with a count, and then we will be going down to a smaller area, about, I would say, 2 hours from Palermo. We will be doing village life. So we will really be experiencing what it means if your clients want to have an authentic experience in Sicily that they can combine with, let's say, the Valley of the Temples and Taormina and so on. We won't be going to Taormina, but we will be seeing the Valley of the Temple, okay?
What can we expect, or the agents expect, at the trade show, and how is it different, or is it the same as trade shows here in the United States?
Well, let me put it this way. The trade shows in Italy are not with major US operators like, as example, Globus, Travel Bound, Avanti, and so on. They have consortiums of guides. They are divided in regions. So they have pavilions that are divided in regions. And in each region, there will be smaller fishes. So people that will be talking about what they do in a particular area, examples of tours that your clients can do even in Tuscany that maybe you've never heard of beyond, let's say, a balloon ride. So it will really spark your imagination. I remember 2 years ago, there was a hotel in the Piedmont region, which is a real good wine and food region, that concentrated their itineraries on rice. And I learned a lot about rice. They even have a stock market for that, where the prices of the rice are decided every day. So even if you're never going to be using their itineraries, when you come back home and you talk to a client and you know that they're a little bit different than the norm, you can actually throw in these stories, and not because you're trying to be cool, but because it's nice to, explain something different, and maybe they might be interested in doing something like that. So basically, again, in the trade shows, you have appointments, so you don't just wander around. If you decide to sign up, we'll give you a sign in for the trade show where you can decide. They don't tell you who to meet. You can decide who you want to meet. If it's a hotel chain, boutique hotels, a smaller property, if you want to concentrate on a region or do it however you want strategically, you can do that. And then at night during the dinners, there will be some mingling with some of the trade show people. And if, let's say, after one day you've done all of Italy, this is an international trade show. It's kind of like the, IBM, no, hold on, I'm making mistakes. But anyways, the one in Germany or others in, in Spain and so on and so forth. The one in London, I don't remember the name, but so it's an international one, and you can move on to other Mediterranean regions or other worldwide regions to get more contacts if you wish.
Barbara has 2 questions. Are all of your quotes custom, and do you book FIT in groups?
We do custom tours mainly. We do small groups that are already pre-done, like families, 4 people, 12 people. We will be starting to do small scheduled departures, and we have one in mind for May, which will be for the region of Emilia-Romagna. I don't have the exact dates yet, but I believe, if I recall correctly, it's around the 20th of May. The point is that we mainly do FITs. we're about to do small group tours for those people that don't really want to go on their own, but they still want to experience the authenticity of the country. Okay.
Cassandra wants to know, does the cost include accommodations?
Yes, all your meals, the transfers from when you arrive in Italy to when you depart is included. The trade show, the hotels, and where we stayed 2 years ago, or even actually, I apologize, last year, we stayed at the 5-star hotel in Rimini, where Federico Fellini spent his last few days before he passed away. So it's a great hotel. Fellini was from the city of Rimini, so it's a very historical and nice place where we stay. Yeah.
Meritus wants to know, if a spouse is an agent too, can they get the agent rate, or are they considered a...
They will be getting the agent rate. Correct. So I don't have a limit. Obviously, if you bring your family of 6 and you consider them all agents, then I might have a limit. But let's say I've had an inquiry also from other people that are from the same agency. So it's not a problem, agent rate.
Good. Roy says, if he sends an agent from his office, do they need an IATA card, or is a letter from the agency okay?
A letter from the agency is okay, but I really, out of respect to other agents, want to make sure that if you send him, that he is really in the business. And if he's not, I can tell you will come out, because an authenticity comes out. There is no questions about it. You can just smell it. So I have no issues with that, because everybody started at one point. But I really want to make sure that this person has the heart into the business and it's not just taking a trip.
Deb has a compliment. She says, "See Italy makes her look like a star to her clients. Just had some clients return and they're thrilled." She also says she wants to know if there's a minimum maximum for groups.
No. I mean, obviously, if you're asking me for a complimentary person, then yes. A group can be, 6 people, 4 people really. So 6 people and up. Maximum, I believe, groups, in order, again, to have a great experience, to be able to interact with either chefs or guides or whatnot, shouldn't be more than 12, 14, because then they will be just tourists and not really, somebody that will experience something. I want my guests to come back and have stories to tell and really have felt something that they never have. I mean, we had clients that went with Abercrombie and Kent and the major tour operators, which are awesome and I respect them. But the best compliment for me was when one of the agents said, or actually the client said, "I've took many, many trips, but this is the most meaningful one in my whole entire life." So that's what we strive for.
Jan says, can you list a few of the companies they can make appointments with at the trade show?
Well, I honestly don't have the list in front of me. By experience, I can tell you there were the Boscolo hotels, a lot of consortium of guides, of regions. There were Virtuoso hotels, signature hotels, small leading hotels of the world. I don't think the Four Seasons attend, but it's mainly really, again, about you getting inspired and connecting with these operators. Okay, so my goal is that. Obviously, again, if you want to do business with them directly, be my guest. And I won't stop you. But I cannot recall the exact names. There are so many little ones, and there are also a lot of big ones. So there are chains of hotels as well, if that's what you're asking, and ground operators.
Verily says she enjoyed the trade show and the educational last year and compliments to Alice.
Yeah. If it wasn't for her last year, we had some organizational issues with the trade show company, because just like a good friend of mine, Lisa, she mentioned Italy is like Jamaica of Europe. So Unfortunately, when you take a trade show, at times you don't hear about the itinerary until about 10 days prior. But again, know you're going somewhere, know you're coming back, and know, just like Jerry said, that you're going to have a good time. Okay. So we'll do our best to make sure that whomever is organizing the land, that will give the information as soon as possible.
Barbara says, do you consider all of your trips to be luxury travel?
Yes and no. It depends really on what your client considers luxury. For my family, at the stage of my life where we're at, luxury is having a great apartment and doing experiences. For me, it's luxury. I do not want to waste my time and try to figure out where to take 6 bodies when I travel to Italy. I could have a 5-star hotel person that wants to have, again, an experience, wants to really feel the country. So the luxury experience for me is whatever is customized to what the client believes it's luxury. However, I will not do something I don't believe in. So if you have a client that, even if it stays in a 5-star hotel, wants to rent a car and be mad crazy all over the board, I will give you my opinion. Also, because I'm Italian, I have to, but I will give you my opinion if it's doable or not. So it could be 5-star, rent a car, could be 5-star all the way. We've done a $70,000 booking many times for 2 people, and we've done like, $1,000 because maybe they booked their hotels on their own.
Sheila wants to know, what are some of the things you do to make a trip romantic? She specializes in romantic or romance vacations.
Well, depends obviously on the budget as well. It could be, breakfast, hot air balloon over the Chianti region. It could be a gondola ride with a serenade. It could be, something where both husband and wife go, let's say, from an artisan to another, but making sure that both of them are catered. So if he has an interest and she has another one, the guy will take him around and make sure everybody is excited. One excellent thing we've done on an agent's behalf, it was doing a photo shoot, and I believe it was in Venice, or in Florence, of the two after they got married. So it was kind of like posing, but with the remembrance of their honeymoon after they got married. So to me, that was really excellent. And then what we do is, let's say, we give them like a bacio chocolate, where there is a little note inside upon arrival during a transfer. And in each place, we try to do some sweet things. And it also depends on your client. We need to really find out what type of clients they are. If they like more the cheesy stuff or just little touches. Okay. I hope I answered.
Virginia says, if we find a guide or property we really want to use for our clients, can we request that you include those in your customized itineraries through CLE?
Yes. We're actually building a customized group for an art lover for an agency in Chicago. And they requested 2 specific guides in each city, and we made sure we would use them instead of our usual one, but we still did our research. And what I mean by that is make sure that they have all the permits and all of that. And it's just because of liability. We want to make sure your clients are protected. But yes.
Jenna, do you work only with travel agents or direct with the public as well?
No, we only work with travel agents because we love dealing business with experts like you. And by experts, I mean somebody that understands what kind of business we're in, that is willing to take in suggestions and so on. Few times, and believe me when I say 2% of our business is done directly, is when a client says, I've never had a good experience with a travel agent. I want to deal with you directly. Maybe the price is better. Price is never better. But the point is that if I turn them away, I'm going to lose the business and they won't experience My Italy. We are planning to do in the future, and believe me when I say we're really busy, like you, a program where we educate our travel agents, and when we get a request, but again, it's 2% now, when we get a request, we can refer them back to you. I can tell you it is not my passion, the direct clients. I feel for you. It is a lot of work, and it's at times hard to satisfied a direct client. You guys, honestly, and not because we're on a webinar, are just the ones I love to serve. So thank you.
Debbie says, is it true that if my client adds on a tour while they're in Italy, I still get commission?
Correct. Yes. And this is why the 60-step system is in place. You won't get your commission until after they come back. Obviously, if they add a tour and they call the tour, let's say the hotel concierge, we won't know about it. But if they call our office, and our numbers are everywhere, our documents say on behalf of so-and-so as so-and-so agency, so they know that we help you. When we call and we check on them, we say, this is See Italy, the Italian representative of Jane at so-and-so agency. They know that they can call us. We can add. We actually had a call this morning of a delayed flight and he couldn't take the transfer and so on. So either way, we're there for you and to make sure that everything is in place, and then we take care of your clients, add, take out stuff, and so on.
Lisa says, do you have connections with apartment rentals in Rome?
Yes, we do have connections, and we are about to finish our apartment only website from which you will be able to get commission. It will have apartments everywhere in Italy with live availability pictures. We'll have a description of the apartment. We will only do superior and deluxe apartments because some of them really are bare minimum. So we have a standard with that as well. And we do sell them right now. We just don't have a way of you to book them directly. So we will be having that possibility in the near future. Yeah.
Diane asks if the 12% commission is already built into the price you quote them.
Great question. Thank you for asking that. Yes, it is already built in, but you can always add a service fee that the client won't see. On the service fee, we will have to take the 3% that we don't earn from the credit card fees out. So if it's $100, if it's $200 that you want to add on the package, we will be taking the 3% out of that $200 fee only. Okay.
Which would go direct to them.
That will go directly to you, yes, because there is no commission to us. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see, is the price the consumer pays the same because of the 12% is added in? By
the way, this is Michael. He works in the office, and he happens to be my lucky husband.
I think what Diane is asking is, when you do have a direct client, is the price the same because the 12% is already added in?
Yeah.
We don't really do.
Yeah, no, our system doesn't discount the 12%. Not only that, because we have the system, the 60-step system. If, let's say, the client comes to you and then something happens and they decide to come to us and we ask, obviously we're not a big office, but we ask questions and we find out that it's the same client. If they are really adamant about doing business with us, we will still recognize to you your 12% commission. Things happen. Sometimes, clients don't get along with one of the agents, and then I come in and they get along with me. And it happens with the travel agents as well. But we understand that you work with your client. We're not a for client type of business. We'll always recognize your commission. We're very loyal, very honest. Trust me. Next question. We're getting there. Sorry.
Barbara says, are you physically in the U.S. or in Italy?
I am in San Diego 90% of the time. Our San Diego office has the agents that build the itineraries. The Italian office has the agents that support the reservation. So after we make a reservation, we propose an itinerary to you, we take the deposit, then everything gets passed on to our Italian office. They take care of the bookings. They take care of making sure that if there is a specific request, foam-free pillows, whatever, or feather-free, sorry, feather-free pillows and so on and so forth, that everything is done by the Italian office. It's just easier. It's Italian time. They work at the supplier's time zone. In the case of emergency numbers, we're covered 24 hours because when a client calls the emergency number in Italy, it rings in our US office and we alternate until midnight, and then it rolls over to the Italian office and so on and so forth. So again, we are in the US and in Italy, but you understood the, how we operate.
You have connections with the apartments, but what about villas?
We do villas as well. We are not specialists in villas as some others that you find online, kind of like hotel bookings, you know, where they have a gazillion amount of them. We have specific ones that we've seen that we believe that the owner is behind it, that they don't give it to other people to resell. So we have a direct contact with the owner where we know that if there is a request locally, that the owner will do anything for our guests on top of our Italian office. So we do villas, but we don't all post them. So if you have a request, send us an email and we'll send you the file about the villa that you requested.
Linda says she basically understands that there's a service fee if they do an add-on to the total price. There's a 3% charge, but what about when there's not, when they're not doing an add-on service fee charge? Do they pay that 3% as well?
No. There is no surcharge for credit card payments. You can pay by check, you can pay by Discover, American Express, Visa, and MasterCard. So we take all credit cards. There is no 3% surcharge. You get paid in US dollars. They get charged in US dollars. The deposit is 25% of the total of the booking. And then final payment is paid 60 days before their arrival in Italy. The documents are delivered 30 days before their arrival. Make sure you tell us that if they go on a cruise before our package, that you need the documents before. Sometimes we have agents that don't tell us that, let's say they go somewhere else, they go to London, France, or whatnot before, and then they call us panicky because the documents are not around yet. But because, again, our policy is 30 days before their arrival in Italy. Yeah.
Susie wanted you to know that every single one of her clients you have done trips with were delighted. Special sightseeing events, hotel guides have not only loved every moment of their experience, but want to go back as soon as possible. You are the best and my only Italy supplier. Thank you for your excellence.
Oh, I know who you are, Susie. Thank you so much. It is a joy to really do business with people like you. We really want to have a relationship with you. And if you're not sure if we do something or not, just pick up the phone or send us an email. We're very flexible. I think that's the beauty of keeping an office that is in control of the clients. So thank you. And you're making our job easier, Susie, by the way. So thank you.
Jerry Lynn says, how long does it take Italy to respond back with a quote for a client?
Well, if you send it to me, it might be a little bit longer just because I wear lots of hats. The other agents, 24 hours. It's incredible. This year, we've implemented a system where when we pair the services with the client, so let's say you call us and we understand exactly what your client wants, then we pick from our database. We call it database. Some people get confused. But anyways, our information system, and it spits out an itinerary right away. So 24 hours, I would say. Unless it's more complicated, like some smaller regions where we don't have all the information yet, then it might be a little bit longer. 48 hours.
And the best way to do that is to email inquiries, correct? Not the person individually.
I would do info@seeitalytravel.com, and then we will send you a questionnaire. There is a questionnaire that you can fill out automatically from our website, where you can tell us everything about your client. But then we always like to call you back and kind of go over what you wrote, because maybe sometimes, some agents, they put $2,000 a person, but they don't really mean it. It's just an oversight, and we want to make sure that if you tell us they want to have a private jet, that you made a mistake, let's say. Okay. And we're not that ritzy.
Lori has a question. Are the villas there specific dates that people must check in? Like a Saturday and a Sunday only, or are they more flexible?
At times, they're flexible when there is a lot of demand, on the Amalfi Coast, especially when they realize that they cannot sell that week. They become flexible, but usually it's Saturday to Saturday or Sunday to Sunday. On apartments, it's only a minimum of 3 nights. Okay. And my suggestion is, even if you have people that want 2 nights, but they are adamant about doing apartments, have them pay for 3 nights and they can stay 2. The price is still very, very affordable, especially for larger families. But yeah.
Debbie says, you mentioned gifts to our clients. Do you sign the card from See Italy or from us as the agent?
From you. And when we send you the what's it called? The questionnaire, where we inquire about your client and we ask you, what do they like? Where have they traveled before? What's their favorite wine color, and so on. We also ask you, if it was you, what would you give your client when they arrive in Italy? And that will give us a guideline on what to give them. Instead, if you have a specific request, let us know, and we will be signing the card in your name. Yes. So, example, we had a family with a child that had multiple sicknesses during his childhood, and he was only 13. What we did on behalf of the agent, we sent a Lego set of the Fontana di Trevi, the Trevi fountain, to this child before he went to Rome, so that he could build it and get excited about a place that he's always dreamt about going. So we can be creative on that too.
Debbie says, if we have clients who have done Rome, Florence, and Venice and want to do something extra special next, where would you recommend we suggest first?
Well, depends of what their interests are, of course, but I would probably do the lake area. It depends if it's a family or if they're wine lovers. If it's Venice, Florence, and Rome, and we can do a pre in the Valpolicella area on the Veneto region, concentrated on wine and the history of wine there. Or we could do the Ville Venete, the Venetian villas, that are in the kind of same customs as Venice, hotels and Venice buildings. So very, very nice. They used to be, let's say, the summer residence of the noblemen of Venice. They could do Verona, they could do the Lake Garda and do mountain biking, sailing, and so on if they're very active. They could do Emilia-Romagna and concentrate on the balsamic vinegar, Parmigiano, the Culatello, which is the cold cuts of that region. If not, when they end in Rome, we could do, let's say, the wine area of Rome. We could do even Castel Gandolfo, the summer residence of the Pope. We could do the lake area, Lago di Bracciano Lake. We can even do the Pontine Islands, which are beautiful. Planning to take my family on a sailing vacation next year around those islands. They could do, of course, the Amalfi Coast, or from Rome, they could go to Puglia. They could fly to Sicily. They could go to Sardinia. There is a lot of things to do. And obviously, don't forget my region of Piedmont, if they're food and wine lovers and they've seen Tuscany already, as an example.
Diane says, Valentina did a trip for her recently, and Valentina is awesome. as is all of your staff that I have dealt with.
Thank you.
Rosemarie says she has only worked with you, um, but so far both of the clients, one in Rome and the Amalfi Coast and the other in Sicily and Sardinia, were thrilled with their experiences. You and Valentina have been the best to work with. I look forward to working with you for years to come.
Thank you. You guys are very nice. I think what the key here, and we're looking for 2 more people for our company because we're growing thanks to you. We've had an amazing journey, even if I would like to sleep a little bit longer. But the point is that when we try to hire people, we talk to them about the vision that we have. This is not about making money only, okay? Because obviously it cannot be a hobby, but it's about really having people coming back, like, with thankful notes like this. But more than anything is, if I give you Italy and I do Italy well, I will be able to give you the world, in the sense that these clients will come back, be so thrilled with what you've done for them that they would want to make you their agent for life. So that's what I strive for. And when I get notes of people, because it happens, this life, that might have had, few inconveniences, that really hurts me, because I believe that everybody has to come back from Italy and just tell stories by laughing or crying because they were so ridiculous and never experienced it before. So thank you. Thank you so much.
And aren't some of the steps in the 60 process, not just because everyone needs to know it, but also because it's important for us to not just follow up with clients, but also to um, interact with the suppliers as to where they succeeded or missed it for our future clients?
Right. So what we do is, well, first of all, we have these steps, like I said, in place to make sure that everything is done well. But when the client comes back, we send them a final questionnaire that really analyzes everything we've done. And sometimes it is so detailed that we even thought about changing it, because it brings out everything that went on during their trip, so much so that they have to really analyze everything. So, for example, we could have an agent that calls us and say, I talked to my clients, they had a blast, loved it, they'll come back to Italy, they made me their agent for life. But then when they sent back the questionnaire, they were very, very critical of every little thing. And we kind of questioned that, but it actually makes us become better, um, without losing the soul. So we thought about changing it, but I think it's helpful to know where we can improve everywhere. Okay.
I think it's Layla. She is a vacation.com agent. Any plans to partner with them as preferred supplier? I always recommend you to my fellow VCOM agents.
Thank you. We really try. We really have tried to come on board with some of the consortiums. We even thought of becoming a virtuoso preferred agency. But a lot of times, and then I'll touch on the virtuoso part, but a lot of times these consortiums have already a lot of on-sites. And even if I give them the best product I can, they're not even interested in talking to me because they're overloaded of suppliers. My suggestion is maybe to keep pushing a name that you want to bring on board. Or I could maybe start collecting names of agents from each consortium, so then when I go to them, I say, look, this is the person that wants us to come on board, and this is the list and whatnot, kind of like a petition in a way. But also in regard to virtuoso, we thought about it a lot. And well, a few years back, we didn't really have the resources or being able to, but then we have to wonder if our prices will increase because of that. So we might not, but again, my goal is to try to help you and serve you and make you different, so that the clients don't compare you with the internet or with online operators. That's my main goal, so that you can be different. Yeah.
Barbara wants to know, is the 12% commission regardless of size of agency,
Yeah.
host, or consortium?
Yeah, it is. And actually, I even thought, and I might throw it in, that if you start, let's say, taking webinars, or if you start coming on our educational, that I would increase it maybe 1%, 2%. Just know that, those people that have, 15% commissions, they either have higher prices or they have mass market product at times. So I could increase it, but because you earned it, not just because, in my opinion, you're part of a consortium. I might change my mind.
But also, isn't it also true that one of the reasons we haven't done the consortiums is we're also concerned about the disconnect with another layer between us and the travel agent?
Yeah, that is another good point, because I really don't know what the consortiums require. Again, my goal is about relationship. It's about knowing that you are for me what I am for you. So that if something happens, that you're not just another name, that you bounce off from operator to operator, and really if something does happen to your client, that you feel stranded. I really want you to know that if something good or bad happens, that we're there for you, that we admit when we made mistakes, but we also, do try to shine you wherever we can. So I hope there is no disconnect, but we will look into it when the time comes. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we are done with questions, and I thank you. I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed the Q&A part. It's where I love to answer questions. I love to help you, and I love to hopefully answer what I did not cover during the webinar. If you have questions or feedback on the webinar, please let me know. Bear in mind, we will get better and better at what we do, but it is thanks to your feedback and your support always. So thank you again. Have a good day.